Hi, welcome to the podcast. Today I speak with James Byrom from the UK, now living in the Netherlands. We talk about his experiences with American-style dueling pianos and his performing throughout Europe. Let's get into it. So, welcome to the show, man. Great to have you here, James.
Great to be here, Adam. Nice setup you've got here,
thanks,
brother.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
It's been a minute, hey?
Yeah, man. It's been a while. It's been a few months. We've been trying to get in touch with each other, but, you're always away, so...
Well,
Well, you do it a lot anyway. You get on the ships, don't you?
I try to be away in the winter. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Dutch winters. January, February, March, I try to book myself somewhere warm. Yeah, that's
How long have you been doing ships for?
Well, it's been about 2011 or 2012 was the first time I went on a ship. But back then it was just maybe once a year for a couple of weeks. But as my kids have gotten older, and like my kids are 18 and almost 16 at this point, I feel like being away for a few months in the winter is very much more doable than it was when they were smaller, So I try to be away in the winter. I like to be at sea, playing for Americans.
Yes,
but I also love to be home, So generally from April till October, I'm in the Netherlands.
It's funny because I did my stint many years ago. And I was telling you about it, and you're like, "Oh, what's it like? Is it any good?" I'm like, "Mate, you'll love it."
That's right. Yeah. When I was back in the day before.
But I got to say, what you do on cruise ships is different to what I did on cruise ships.
Is that
right?
Now,
I did the crooners bars. I didn't do a dueling show.
Right.
It wasn't a thing then, actually.
Well, you said schooner. That's Royal, right? That's Royal Caribbean.
No, the crooners, and that's Princess.
Because you've got the schooners on Royal Caribbean. That's what I'm thinking. The schooner bar is on Royal Caribbean, and they've just brought dueling pianos onto their brand new ship, the Icon of the Seas.
Oh, yes.
The biggest cruise ship in the world at this
Timbui.
point. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you say that, because on their newer ships, and I hear that on their next few ships they're going to be having it as well, the dueling piano thing.
It's popular, huh?
So yeah, it's I guess Norwegian has been doing it since 2011. They have Howl at the Moon, they literally have the franchise that's all over the States on their ships.
Yeah.
Whereas I think with Royal, they're going to just do their own
in-house thing.
Yeah.
That's cool. And you enjoy it? You enjoy the cruise ship?
I do. I love it. I mean, sure, there's some times where it can be kind of boring or lonely out there for weeks at a time.
What's your usual contract time?
It depends. We can get short ones, sometimes from like 3-4 weeks. And actually, because I'm in Europe, most of the entertainers are Americans. So if a gap comes up in Europe in the summertime for a week or two, I've done small contracts of sometimes one cruise or two cruises.
That's always cool.
Very cool. Yeah, but generally it's normally a month or two.
Yeah.
It depends which line, because I play for Carnival as well as a solo show.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to say, when I was single without a family, it was the best thing ever, and I would stay out sometimes for 8 months at a time.
Oh, I've never done that long.
Yeah,
the longest I've ever been out is 2 months.
Oh, wow. Well, I chose to stay out that long because it was so good. I mean, I was doing Copenhagen to St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
And then we did the crossing, and we went and did the Caribbean, and we did Alaska, and this is all in 8 months.
Right, yeah. So I kept switching it up.
I had nowhere to be. I had an easy situation. 6 nights a week I played.
Right.
3 hours.
And you can stack that paper.
Yeah, exactly.
You probably had no bills back then? No mortgage?
No, I bought all my instruments then.
Right.
That's how I did. And I wasn't drinking. My God.
You weren't drinking back then?
No, I wasn't drinking. I did a year off. Yeah.
That's crazy. I actually got sober on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Of all places to get sober.
I know. And did you get a lot of grief from people about that? Like, why don't you drink?
I still get a lot. I still occasionally get grief.
Are you an alcoholic?
Yeah.
Do you have do you have the clap? That was a good one. No, I do. I don't have the clap. I just don't want to drink. It's better this way.
Right.
And then I used to get grief too. That people would say, "Oh, she's really hot. Why do you go for her?" I'm like, "Dude, she's not hot." And no, I'm not going there. They're like, "What? What's wrong with you?" I'm sober. There's nothing wrong with me. There's something wrong with you. You got the bee goggles on, dude. Check it out.
Yeah, I mean, I've had my fair share of those nights as well.
I know the feeling, man.
Yeah, dude.
But that's cool. Listen, Just a quick question about your early years, because I'm curious how you got started with music in general, you know.
Oh, I mean, music has been always present and omnipresent in my life since I can remember. You know, I think I was 2 or 3 years old when my mum and dad bought me my first keyboard.
Uh-huh.
And so the story goes. Obviously, I don't remember it, but there's a TV show in the UK called EastEnders.
Oh, of course.
And I picked out the da 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 da, and I picked it out on my new keyboard.
Oh, wow.
Apparently, picked out the tune. So my mum sent me to her friend who was a piano teacher when I was very small, and she took me through the grades. We call them the grades in the UK.
Yes, of course.
It's grade 1 to grade.
Did you do
to grade
Royal
8.
Academy, ABRSM?
Correct, Royal Academy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I was in that project, basically having just piano lessons as a kid, but always also involved a lot in amateur dramatics because I'm from a small village in the UK.
Oh, yeah.
It's close to Liverpool and Manchester, but still an hour away
What's it
from
called?
each. So we had a lot of...
What's the village called?
The village is called Whalley.
Oh, Whalley.
Whalley,
Okay.
yeah, in Lancashire.
Oh,
It's
Lancashire.
beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous, yeah. But very quiet, and kind of small. So my mum was very proactive in getting us involved in all kinds of musical instrument learning, but also being on stage. So as a young kid, I was in all of the musicals like Les Miserables, Fiddler on the Roof, Oliver, Annie, etc., etc.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was always music was always there.
That's interesting. I didn't know
Yeah.
you did musical theatre when you were younger.
Yeah, till about age 15, I was on stage always.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah,
man.
I even had to learn to tap dance one time for what's that one? 42nd Street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And how did that go?
I did it. I think
yeah.
I was 13 or 14, and we were also in bands as well. So I would play tuba in it's the Lancashire Students Concert Band.
Yeah.
I played tuba in that, and I also played piano in the Lancashire Students Jazz Band.
Oh, wow.
So my agenda was just full.
Yeah.
Every night was a different. Yeah.
So you had formal training.
Bless my
like this
mum.
in-
She was like a taxi service for all 4 kids, just taking us to all our different lessons.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Incredible.
And your siblings also
Siblings
musical.
also with sport sport as well involved in that. So
What did you play, football? Or?
I was into my athletics. Football was football was the only one that I wasn't good at. So
Oh, yeah.
I was into my athletics and rugby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Long
That's
jump,
interesting.
shot put.
It's funny you say about the what is it, the show, the EastEnders, that have got you into music. And that's exactly what happened to me, except Days of Our Lives.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was sitting listening to Days of Our Lives. Dun, dun, dun. I'm like, I can play that. I started playing it, and my mum noticed, and that's what got
That's
me into piano.
exactly what happened.
That is
right?
hilarious.
Just
man.
picked out the melody.
Yeah.
Somehow, and she's like, "Hey, yeah,
I can do that. You know?
funny, huh?"
How did you get into piano entertaining?
That's a good question. Let me see. I guess the first time that I got paid to play piano for people in a restaurant club setting I was young. I think I was 14. Yeah, I was 14, maybe 15.
Yeah.
And I started playing piano after I'd done the usual jobs of delivering, newspapers when to get some extra spending money.
Yeah.
Washing dishes in a local coffee shop when I was 14. After that, I realized that I could play the piano and probably make more money than washing dishes.
Absolutely.
So I started doing that in a restaurant called Beetlestones that was in Blackburn, not far from where I'm from. And I remember I used to play Friday and Saturday nights, and it was £100 a night plus tips and as much as many B-52s as I could drink.
How old were you?
I was 14, 15.
What?
It was 94. It was 95.
That's classic.
It seems
It's pretty-
kind of... Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can understand beer or wine, but B-52s.
It was Stella, it was beer, and B-52s. Yeah, the owner was a bit of a nutcase.
Oh, that's classic.
And he thought it was funny to get the
Piano's drunk.
the piano player drunk.
Oh, you started early, I see. Yeah.
Right.
Great.
I remember like driving home, on Fridays and Saturday
Sorry,
nights.
driving home?
Well, him driving me home.
Oh, okay.
Right, yeah, but yeah.
Drunk driving 14-year-old. That's mad.
Yeah. But imagine being 14 and then all of a sudden you've got like, probably like a grand and a half a month with no bills. So all of a sudden you've got plenty of money in your pocket for a 14, 15-year-old
Yeah, that's
kid.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And what about piano entertaining though? I mean, that you were just, I guess, playing like background.
So then I moved to London when I was pretty young with
Yeah.
my girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
I was 17 and a half, just shy of 18 when I moved to London, 1998. And then I contacted Gary Parks. You know Gary Parks?
Of course. So how did you hear about him?
That's a good question. I can't remember, man. I think he maybe had been recommended to me by
Oh,
somebody.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so I contacted Gary, and he actually got me work around London. So I played in Scots. I don't know if you remember Scots.
Of course, I played there too. Yeah.
I mean,
worked for Gary as well.
that's like literally cocktail. It's not entertaining. It's
Yeah,
background.
like, can you turn it down?
Can you
Was
turn it
the
down?
regular thing.
But I
that
remember the piano used to be in in the middle of a spiral staircase, but the spiral staircase was see-through. So I remember it was the best gig ever because you'd have these beautiful women coming down, and you were playing in the middle.
Oh yeah,
best job ever.
How old were you then?
In fact, that's where I met Johnny Corsi.
Oh.
I was playing at Scott's on what's it called? Anna Nightingale sang in Berkeley Square. It's a bit like the song Berkeley Square.
Of course, yeah.
So it's right there on Berkeley Square. It's only millionaires coming. I remember from Oasis, what's his name? Liam Gallagher came in one night.
Yep.
Anyway, Johnny Corsi came in one night with his dad. And his dad was, let my Johnny play. So that's where how me and Johnny met.
Yeah, his dad was very proactive, wasn't he? Like pushing him into the gig kind of thing.
His dad was fun. He was a fun guy.
No, because he also was telling me, he was on the podcast earlier, he was telling me that, his dad really was instrumental to getting him into gigs,
Oh, really?
Yeah, like as
I can imagine that.
Oh, my son plays, let him hear.
He literally did that on my,
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was you that he was talking about, but he did tell me about that happening maybe at another gig or so.
Seems like another lifetime ago. We're talking about 97 now, 98.
Yeah. But actual piano entertaining, I mean, because that's different to what we were doing then.
Once I'd done a couple of things for Gary in London,
and
I actually spent my 18th birthday on a ship. You're not even allowed to work on a ship until you're 18, but I just changed my date of birth on the application form, and it was pre 9/11, so I guess nobody checked. So Gary Parks sent me on it wasn't even a proper cruise ship. It was called the Pride of Bilbao.
Oh, yes, I know.
So it was a booze cruise ferry ship that went from Portsmouth to Bilbao in northern Spain, like 3 days back and forth or whatever. And I played in the posh bar, and I was 17. And after that, I started working in Norway.
Yeah.
That was where the piano entertaining thing started. I think.
Right.
Because before that, it was background, kind of cocktail.
And so
stuff.
you just went fresh, green into Norway.
Yes.
Wow, that's a big.
Yeah, and it was like get a drum machine, and I'm like, what? I remember showing up. My first gig in Norway was in Studenten, so it was a student place on the Karl Johans Gate, the main strip in Oslo.
Yeah.
So I showed up for Brian. Brian booked me, and I showed up, and Guy Harris was in Oslo at the time, and he met me, and he said, I went and bought my drum machine that day, and I had to play. It was a Friday night that night, and I just found out that afternoon that I was expected to use a drum machine.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so I was freaking out.
What did you buy, the Elises?
Yeah, I bought the Elises in Oslo that day, and I'll never forget, Guy Harris really helped me out. He sat me down and he said, write down like your top 100 songs or whatever, 50 songs, 150, I can't remember. And then he said, write down which drum beat goes with each one and just try and I made it through. I winged it through my first night.
Wow.
That's full house of students ready to go,
Oh, that's scary.
It was scary. And I was 18 or 17 at the time. So it was like,
I mean, they're not
good jump thrown into the deep end moment.
They're pretty unforgiving,
Actually, I tell a lie. I bombed on my first night. My first night was a total failure. But the next day, I spent all day working with the drum machine. Just trying to figure out, 4 or 5 rhythms that I could use. And the Saturday was way better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's so
I
scary.
did bomb the first night.
Man, my first time was actually Crazy Pianos.
The first time what?
I did
you
piano
bombed, or the
entertaining.
first time that you did piano entertaining?
Both.
But you wouldn't consider the cruise ship piano entertaining then?
No, because I did a lot of the lobby gigs on that. I did end up doing piano entertaining on there, but much later.
Because when the cruise ships that I do, it's like you have to put on a show.
Yes, but I didn't do cruise ships till after that. And before that I did, but I also did it with bands. And I did some lobby gigs as well.
Gotcha.
But then later on, after I left Crazy Pianos, then I did piano entertaining. Because I'd learned how to do it at Crazy Pianos.
So what year did you come to Crazy Pianos then?
2001.
Wow.
Yeah, a long time ago, dude.
Yeah, that was when I think I got there in 2001 as well.
You were there just before me. I think it was 2000. So I was July 2001 I got there.
If I'm not correct, Adam, I think I was there in King's Day 2000. Yeah, or 2001, you're right.
I think you were there the year before me because you and Johnny were both there, I think, at the same time. No,
Johnny came way later.
Did he?
Yeah, I think like 2007 or something, Johnny.
Oh, okay. That late?
Maybe 6.
Okay. Oh, my memory's pretty dodgy from that period of time.
But even 2006 is, it's still 18, 19
I
years
was,
ago.
well, being an Australian person coming to the Netherlands, one of the first things you're going to do is get stoned. And I kind of didn't leave that boat for a while. So my memory of those times is fluid.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
I have that with my whole 20s.
Well, I was in my 20s then. I think I was 27,
well, fair enough.
27, 29.
Oh, I remember your drinking days. In fact, I was just in Gran Canaria.
Yeah. Oh, did you do Black
I was in
White?
Gran Canaria last week or the week before.
Did you do Black
for
White?
Vacation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't play there.
Okay.
And I was driving past the hotel.
Yeah.
And I had to think about you.
Oh, yes.
I had to think about you climbing a certain crane.
Yes, that's right. Well, you know what?
Off your head.
I actually wasn't drunk.
Weren't you?
No. That's why I did it. I was fine with it. I mean, had been drinking, but I wasn't wasted or anything. There's no way I would have done it otherwise. Well, maybe I would have even cared about it. But you're like, oh, you're not going to do that. And I think I raised a couple of €100 to do that.
You have Sean to thank for that because we weren't going to pay you.
I know.
We're like, whatever.
Sean, Tim Bowie.
Was it? I think it was Sean as
and
well.
Tim.
They were like, the guy did it, you've got to pay.
Yeah. Yeah, because when I got
Pay
there,
up, guys.
so the crane was in a building site and they had Rio bars sticking up out of the ground like a meter. I was like,
so
if
scary.
I fall on that, I'm definitely dead. Well, mind you, if I fall that far, I'm dead anyway, so, whatever. And then I climbed out on the end of the crane. That's madness. Yeah, that was pretty mad.
Yeah.
But you do this
Crazy
shit.
kids.
Yeah, that's it, right? Happy days.
You live and learn.
What can I say? But, and then of course, because we met in Crazy Pianos.
We did.
And how did you get into Crazy Pianos? What was the deal there?
So, yeah, like I said, I was doing Norway gigs. Back then they were monthly contracts. So you'd have a month Bergen, a month Trondheim, a month, Stavanger, whatever. You'd stay in each venue generally for the whole month.
Were you based still in England at that point?
Yes. So I was doing a month in Norway, then back in London, then maybe a month or two in Norway, then a couple of months. So I was going back and forth. Then you talk about getting stoned.
Yeah.
That's what happened. I was doing a gig in Oslo, and I went to meet my girlfriend at the time who was from London, but we met in Amsterdam.
Oh, yeah.
And had a couple, because I had a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off.
Yeah.
So I left all of my gear in Oslo, flew to Amsterdam, met my girlfriend. She flew from London to Amsterdam, had a great time. Then when I was flying back to Oslo, because I had to finish my contract, I didn't want to throw the hash away that I'd bought in Amsterdam.
Oh,
so it was still in my pocket. And
I'd
I'd flown into Oslo so many times, I'm like, it'll be fine.
Not.
No, there was a dog there. So I got thrown out of Oslo, out of Norway, sent back to the UK.
Yeah.
All of my gear's still in Oslo.
Oh, God.
Because I'd only taken an overnight back to Amsterdam. So I had to figure out a way to go and get my keyboard and all of my stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I got a stamp in my passport that I wasn't allowed in Norway for a few years. So I flew to Sweden.
Yeah.
And Tor Elvin picked me up and drove me over the border. I picked up my stuff. Classic. And Brian even booked me a gig for the night to pay for the trip. So I did one night show somewhere in Oslo.
Oh.
And I remember when I was getting the bus back to Sweden, to Gothenburg. I was flying out of Gothenburg. I had to wait for the bus in the Norwegian side, and it was by a bridge, and on the other side of the bridge was Sweden. And I had a thing in my passport that I wasn't allowed in Norway. And I was a kid. I was 18 or 19. So I got nervous. So I ripped out the page of my passport that said not allowed in Norway.
Oh, wow.
But if you rip out page 4 and 5, like page 26 and 27 is kind of hanging there. So you have to rip that one out. And all of a sudden, like, your passport feels way lighter. And tampering with passport's not a good thing.
No, man.
No. Anyway, I managed to get home and I threw the passport away immediately. because I was going to Vegas a few weeks later with my girlfriend at the time and just pretended like I'd lost my passport, and I got a new passport. And because it was pre-internet, my new passport had nothing in there. So it was just like getting a brand new passport.
Sweet.
I know.
That's a good idea.
Good story,
not anymore. Yeah. Back in this is pre 9/11.
This is
everything
pre
9/11, man. It used to be so easy getting around, you know.
Right. Like I say, I was 17, I had my 18th birthday on the Pride of Bilbao. People were sending me 18th birthday presents to the ship, like my mum and dad.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty obvious I wasn't, that nobody cared.
No. This is I mean, now it's even worse, you know. I mean, it's so much more regulated.
You could never get away with that now.
No, exactly. But hey, happy days, man. It was awesome. I mean, I have my own stories about that as well, but, you know, about the whole passport situation was very different back then.
But you were saying that for you, 2001, when you came to Crazy Pianos, was the first time that you did full-on piano entertaining.
I was as green comes. And you know, Stevie J took me aside and taught me. And we were talking about that.
Stevie J taught all of us.
Yeah, but he literally took me aside to show me what to do, right? But
right, because what I mean is like just by watching and learning.
Exactly,
yeah.
But I'm saying he literally helped me out.
I remember being super nervous as well around that age as well, because it was quite intimidating. When I showed up at Crazy Pianos, I had, let me see, it was Hans and Roel van Velsen and Jevon Clark and Stevie J and Jan Roymans, Lenny B, Junie Juliet. So, and then me.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like I was 18, like you said, greener than green.
Yeah. Except you'd already been to Norway, so you've been doing it somewhat.
Yeah, that's true. I had somewhat of an arsenal of songs that I knew would work.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'd learned some of the latest, like I'd learned the latest Craig David song and the latest like Robbie Williams song or whatever was hip at that point.
Yeah. Rock DJ.
To give me, rock DJ.
Yeah. There you go.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's
what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
I was like 99. That was the shit back then.
That was the shit then. Totally.
Yeah.
Talking about music, what are your influences musically?
Wow. I can't really say one genre or one artist because I listened as kids. My mum would listen to so much stuff in the car, like let me see, from Stevie Wonder to Dire Straits to James Taylor, who else? From classical music to the jazz standards to all the show tunes and everything in between. There was such a vast,
Is there any musician or music that you modelled your playing on at all?
I think I'd take a little bit of that I like, a little bit of what I like from everybody who I come into contact. That was the cool thing about playing at Crazy Pianos, because you'd be sitting on the other side of whoever it is on the other side, and you'd be expected to play along. So I mean, just playing by ear is something that is second nature to us, you know.
And what about players themselves? Was there any players that had a massive impact on you when you were beginning with this? Like from wherever.
See.
I mean, you have mentioned a few already. Obviously Stevie J.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like artists.
No, I meant actual people in the scene, coming into the scene.
Yeah,
you know, we're all influenced
definitely
by
Stevie. Obviously, I remember seeing Easton Davis when I was really young.
You know what's funny is I saw Easton Davis on Instagram recently.
Yeah,
like, man, sounds awesome.
Yeah,
he's really good. I'd never seen him before. He plays a lot in Norway. Yeah,
he plays almost exclusively in Norway.
Yeah, man, he's got that definite R&B. He's like Stevie, but
he's exactly it. He's got the
Stevie
Return of the Mac thing going on.
Yes,
and,
Return of the Mac and My Pony. What is it?
All of it.
Yeah, that's definitely his thing, man.
But I saw him when I was 18 or 19 playing like the hot spots in Oslo and killing it. You know.
Where's he from?
He's from the UK as well.
Oh, he's the UK as well.
UK.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, it's like him and Stevie came from the same family or something. They went different
Stevie,
directions.
like the OG. Him, Stevie, and Junie actually. They started a lot, and Tammy started a lot of the Norwegian stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, the OG Norway players.
What's OG?
The original gangsters.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Original gangsters. No, they were all amazing players. Those guys, you know, have their own little niche thing, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But that, and any other players that really influenced you other than those guys?
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, yeah.
All of them to a certain degree. You know?
Especially when you're playing dueling. Whenever you're playing dueling, every time you're growing from whoever you're playing with, you know?
It's not even that I was aware that I was like consciously learning, like just by, just by being there, just by default, you just pick stuff up, what works and what doesn't work, what you like, what you don't like.
Yeah. You work now quite a bit for American audiences.
Yeah.
And you're doing the dueling piano show now. Now, you've done both quite extensively, as in, look, I've done that piano entertaining thing on cruise ships.
Yeah.
But I haven't done Howl at the Moon style, which is, I think, its own thing. And actually, the American scene is pretty much based on Howl at the Moon style of playing. That is very different to here.
It is and it isn't.
Yeah. Well, the principles are somewhat similar, but the way it's done is a little bit different. Like, as in the drums, the top keyboard, the piano thing.
I would say there's more interaction in the American show.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I try to involve the audience in every single song in some way with my American show. There's not one time that I will just play a song and ignore them. So either I'll get them to sing one bit, or I'll have them clap here, or whistle here, or holler there, or something.
Yeah, and they're very receptive to it.
Yeah.
Whereas here, they're not very receptive to it all the time. It's
maybe that's a language thing, because I find I can do a lot of comedy and bits and stuff with Americans that just wouldn't really go over as well here unless people were very good at English. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Dutch are fantastic at English. But sometimes it can also be a case of when you're on the cruise ship, people are literally just not doing anything else. They're watching you and listening. They have your undivided attention. Whereas if you play it somewhere like Crazy Pianos, people are having a dinner and they're having a chat.
Yeah, that bothers me. I think that's what I love about doing the shows, the dueling shows, is that they're there to be just entertained with the dueling. They're not there to eat or something else.
Some passengers will come from the very first song. It's a 4-hour show. They will be there every single show from the start to the finish.
Yeah.
Like a 4-hour show.
Awesome.
In 1 week, they'll come 4 times.
And you do that with 3 players?
3 players.
Yeah.
So we do 3 players and we rotate it around.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
And now
because they're all on vacation, they're all up for a party.
Yeah. And I mean,
they're all well oiled by 9 o'clock that night.
That's it. Oh, see, that perfect situation. And I think that's so important that the scene is set, that everyone is ready.
For 45 minutes before the curtain opens, they're waiting for the show to start.
Even better.
Yeah.
So
there's that apprehension, and then the announcement, and the show will start in 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Building up expectations,
Correct.
because often when you go to somewhere like Crazy Pianos, it's the dueling thing. It's duel as in restaurant / piano entertainment, And so we'll come up and play to nobody there, and we'll be like, I'm still talking to people very actively. Hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. You got any songs you like to hear? Yeah, not now. I'll think about it, And so that's really like pulling blood from a stone until you got them in the right frame of mind at the right time, and bang, then it all happens, no problem,
Right.
And I think that's more the model of how it works as opposed to really how Dutch people are. Because if you sing their songs and you speak in Dutch and even if you just speak in English, and they're in the right frame of mind, they're right up for it, right? Just maybe not as much as Americans, but I still have crazy party moments with the Dutch as well.
Well, I mean, I think you just have to read the room. Reading the room is important, and sometimes people do just want to have a chat amongst themselves and want you as background. I don't know.
That's true. That's absolutely true. But not when you do Howl at the Moon.
Oh, no.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
So it's like okay, if you want to go and have an easy beginning of your gig and then only work for a little bit at the end, fantastic. That's good vibe. But,
that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work on the ship.
No.
In fact, I think the first half an hour is really important to how well the night's going to go.
You have to establish connection.
Establish connection, and showcase exactly how what you can do. Do something, do something wow.
Yeah. Give them
Yeah.
Like, this is who I am.
And then the night will go so much smoothlier.
Exactly.
After that. So, yeah.
Smoothlier indeed.
Smoothlier. What's much smoother? This is
I
smoothlier.
like that word. I'm going to use it.
It's definitely a word now.
It's definitely a word now. It's no,
Smoothlier.
because when I did cruise ships after Crazy Pianos, and I did the dueling piano thing, I first went in and I played it. Oh, it's a lobby, so I'll play lobby. Mm-hmm. And the cruise director said to me, "Not enough bums on seats." I was like, "Oh, okay,
not enough bums on seats."
Yeah, that was an English guy. And I
was
thought,
it?
because I thought my job was to croon and do that kind of background,
Right.
easy, but that's what he wants. I'm going to do Crazy Piano style. So then I started doing, and I moved it more into the American way of doing it. Yeah. Like, it was really clap your hands, and they were so receptive. They were screaming, and I was packing the place out.
They loved it.
And then I got, you're too
many
loud.
bums on seats.
Too loud. Yeah, we can't do anything with you. We're doing this show. It's like, well, but man, I've just increased the revenue by 300%. Isn't that what you wanted? Like, yeah, that's what we want, And that was, for me, the American experience that I'd never had before. And I just loved it. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Comparatively, I loved it.
I do. I think you're right. Like Americans are so very thankful as well.
Oh,
they will come up to you. They'll make a point of coming up. Thank you, man. You were great. You really made our vacation. And here's little something.
Yeah, exactly. And I sold live CDs as well.
Yeah.
So I recorded me doing
Americans
the gig, and then I sold it to people, and I was making money. That was fantastic. Happy days.
Oh, you had a little merch
I
sideline.
did have a merch side.
Little Adam James merch sideline.
Yes.
Look at you.
I had some stalkers. My God, older ladies.
Oh, really?
Oh,
some
my
cougars.
God. Yeah, did you get that? Cruise
Maybe.
ships. Yeah. But
I'd rather not talk about it.
let's. There's still a few questions over this I'd like to ask, because first of all, let's get back to Europe and singing in multiple languages. Obviously, not obviously, but you speak Dutch fluently, and you sing in Dutch and English.
Yeah.
Do you sing in any other languages? Norwegian?
Oh yeah, I can
Spanish?
play. I can play 2 Norwegian songs.
What songs are they?
I can play a song from Post-Eurobig
Yeah.
called Idyll.
Okay.
And my friend Espen taught me that when I was 18. So I just learned it phonetically. He taught it to me phonetically.
Ah, cool, yeah.
And it's just somehow stayed in the archives.
Oh, cool.
But apparently I sound like I'm like an Asian or a Pakistani when I sing it, So it's always very amusing for the Norwegians when I take a stab at it. And then Toeretang.
Of course. That was what I was going to say. Yeah. That's the one I've learned.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Toeretang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
But I wouldn't say that I sing in Norwegian.
No.
I can take a 2-minute stab at each of those.
Yeah. Do you find singing in other languages, even in Dutch, originally? Because you probably have more confidence now since you're fluent. But did you find it intimidating somewhat?
I still do.
Yeah.
I still do, yeah, because
You're
I think
second guessing yourself all the time. Am I saying that right? Or?
It's not even the saying it right thing. It's like, where's the intonation, or where's the where's the vowel placement on that word?
Yeah.
Whereas I think that comes as an English
Phrasing.
speaker, that comes second nature.
Yeah.
Like unless I've heard the song a lot of times, the Dutch song I'm talking about now, like it would be difficult for me to just read it from I can listen to an English song and then just take a good stab at it.
Yeah.
Where, like you say, where the phrasing is, but I wouldn't. It takes way more effort to do that in another language. Obviously,
yeah, totally. It's scary as hell. It's definitely gotten easier for me as I've gone on because I've done so many now that I can actually pretty much learn a Dutch song in a few minutes.
Well, the thing is, for us, well, for me, then I'm going to talk about me. Like, that first 10 years that I was in Holland from 2000 to 2010, it wasn't really required at all for us.
No, because everyone speaks English, huh?
No, for us foreigners to play the Dutch songs, because the Dutch guys would play the Dutch songs.
That's right, yeah.
So we never even have to, but we would, of course, hear them all the time. We would be sitting in the same room, and we'd be on the other side of the stage.
Yeah.
So just by default, just by being there, we're learning all of these Bluff songs and Acta and the Munich songs and Marco Borsato songs and Haas's songs.
Yeah.
They're all somehow going in there subconsciously.
Yeah.
And I think you must have had that because you left for Australia for years, but then you came back, but they were still all somehow in there. No,
well, actually, what I did
the
was...
melodies, the chord changes.
some of them. Yeah, but then I found that all that rap was so old because that was 10 years ago.
Oh, but they're still all there.
Yeah, but the Vliegen doesn't get requested very much anymore.
No.
So there was definitely different songs. But what I did was when I knew that I was coming here from Australia, I decided to start learning Dutch songs and really listening to them and trying to get the pronunciation right, because I thought, I've got to do this because I'm moving there permanently and I'm assimilating. So I want to, be able to speak Dutch and sing Dutch songs, because I knew the difference between singing a Dutch song and singing a not Dutch song. Even if it's a good one, you can see, like, maybe you sing Celebration, right? Everyone's like, yeah, that's fun. And then you do Oudman Ball from Older Houses. Yeah, you got here and then you got here. I was just... There's no competing with that. You can't compete with that. The Dutch guys would do their Dutch thing and then they'd have the crowd.
Yeah, that would tick me off always. It didn't matter. You could learn the newest, latest, hippest shit.
It didn't matter.
And you could drop it and then they would just play Eva Mamoede Vragen and then everybody would be on their side.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I kind of, you know, I mean, when I was younger and started at Crazy Pianos with this dual language thing, I was like, whatever, leave it alone. I learnt 3 words of Dutch and that's all I really cared about. But I was backing people up and maybe singing along with the chorus sometimes. So I really didn't have the need to learn, but I kind of wish that I had spent time on that, and in hindsight, that I really should have gotten into the language.
Really?
And,
Does that bother you?
It doesn't bother me so much to say, but if you think, looking back on it, I really should have given it more love and attention, and generally everything more love and attention, yeah? I just didn't care. I wanted to go skateboarding and get stoned. That was my priority.
And you did.
I did indeed. I did that a lot.
I know,
Listen,
I remember.
Man, what I'd love to hear from you is some crazy gig stories. You've got lots of them, man. We've already talked about 1 or 2. But
man,
give us some of those crazy gig stories.
I can't really think of any, to be honest with you.
Really?
Mate. I mean, there's been many, I'm sure.
Yeah, there has been. I mean, like, well, you know, the Caribbean. There's a lot of crazy shit that happens at the gig there. Have you ever had any fights break out?
I've never played in the Caribbean.
Have you been harassed? Oh, really?
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
I mean, I've done the cruises in the Caribbean,
but you've never done
times,
like,
but I've never done the Aruba
Sopranos,
gig. No.
No, Red
man.
Piano Bar. You need to go there, dude.
I've been there, but I've never played there.
You need to go and play there, man.
St. Martin.
Yeah, Red Piano. Because
Yeah.
tips are good. American audience, you'd be perfect for that gig, man. Should speak to Tammy.
Well, I'm seeing Tammy in 2 days.
Yeah, she's on the show in 2 days.
She's coming here to see me afterwards.
Yeah, that's it.
She's coming here and then she's coming to me.
That's it. I'm picking her up from the airport. So.
Okay, cool. You dropping her at my place?
Yes, I am indeed.
Oh, well, there you go.
But I mean, like, have you ever been accosted on the gig by some?
All the time.
Yeah. But I mean,
all the time.
Do you have any good stories?
Oh,
about
I mean, I remember back in the day when you used to be able to smoke at Crazy Pianos. And not even could you smoke. There was a cigar place. Do you remember Smoking Dick?
Of course I do, yes. They had 2, didn't they? They had one in Rotterdam and one in Scheveningen.
Yeah.
But the one in Rotterdam I really used to love because it always had sushi.
No, but that would be downstairs as well.
Yeah. They had sushi and the cigar.
But I remember too, one time it was Scheveningen, Saturday night, full house.
Yeah.
And I was trying to sing a song.
Uh-huh.
And there was like 4 or 5, we call them in Dutch lullo's, like with the, and then like with all the like these university frat boys, let's say.
Yeah.
And they bought these big cigars. And they were perfectly in their rights to do so. They were standing right by the stage and just clouds of cigar smoke. Like I couldn't hardly see were just coming up. And I'm trying to sing a song. So like during my song, during a solo or something, I'm like, I go like, could you please, like I'm trying to sing a song. So what they did was they did it even more, like just to tick me off. Like, fuck this guy, what's he gonna do? So what am I gonna do? I had a pint of beer there. So like during a break, I was like, and on the drums. Whatever, Power Patrick. And then I waited till they weren't looking and I grabbed all 4 cigars and I put them in my beer. And then carried on playing. Like, fuck you guys.
And what did they do?
They were super angry, but then I had the doorman throw them out.
Oh, classic.
Yeah, because the doormen were always on the piano player's side. You'd say these guys were being annoying.
Yeah, get rid of them.
Get rid of them.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You've got, I'm sure, a few wild stories from Crazy Pianos, but also from Norway, huh? You have any? Because look, I remember speaking to.
I'd rather not talk about that, Adam.
Well,
I'm just joking.
Well, no, listen. I remember talking to the piano player.
Just got over it.
From the piano player from England, who did lots of it. Carl Williams.
Have you been in touch with Carl?
I have. Actually, you know what? He played at Crazy Pianos when he came over.
No way.
He got up and did a song.
I haven't seen that guy for 10 years.
I know, he looks so different. He looks so
Does he?
civilized.
Really?
Yeah, he looks like a dad. You know,
Civilized Carl.
He's lost weight. He's looking good. He's looking really good, man.
Good for him.
And and it was great to see him. But he told me about, so he had some crazy stories about people harassing him.
I love Carl. I haven't seen him for years.
I know. He's. But
I think Tilburg was the last time I saw him. Tilburg, 2011, 12.
That was live. Huh?
That's right, yeah.
Because we played there as well. Remember that? You and me, 2013.
I thought you were in Oz then.
I came over. And I was in February 2013, and I did a gig with you, and I think Anna was there as well.
I don't remember
She
that.
was staying there. Yeah, I have got video footage of it. I will play it right now. So
No, don't.
yes, that was good.
Was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it was really good. I've got a really good video of that moment.
Really?
Yes,
I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see
it's
that.
really cool live.
I was pretty off the rails at that point.
No, you weren't. No,
Oh, I was.
well, not
Maybe not on the video. But...
no, not on the video, and not when I was there.
Okay,
Because
cool.
we stayed in the same place.
Okay.
We stayed in the apartment.
Well, I mean, let's just say I was partying hard. I probably had my shit together.
No,
kind of, but,
yeah. You were partying hard, but there was no different then. I mean, it was just normal to me. I mean,
exactly.
you weren't exactly crazy. I mean, that was pretty straight ahead, you know.
Okay, well, good to hear.
And how do you find it affecting your lifestyle, the whole gig, the whole job? Positive, negative, indifferent?
No, that's a good question. Looking back, probably there are some occupational hazards that you need to be aware of. And I mean, working at night, you know, when I had small kids wasn't ideal.
No.
And then the boozing thing.
Yeah.
You know, we would do hour on, hour off back in the day. Free
Yeah.
free alcohol.
Oh my God.
5 nights a week.
Yeah.
And you're in your 20s.
You remember we used to have passwords?
Yes.
Yeah, you know what mine was?
No.
Corona.
Figures.
They gave that to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He said your password's going to be Corona because I used to
know,
drink them like.
I remember they used to even
Multilingual.
have little like I can't remember whether they were the cards or like gift cards or something, and we'd have pictures of all the piano players on there. And mine one was just me going beer, with a beer, like yeah.
Yeah, man.
Or was it a menu? Was it maybe a menu or something or postcards? I don't know.
Those periods for me are a little bit vague. To say
Well,
the
you've been
least.
sober 11 years now.
11 years.
That's
yeah.
great, Adam.
I know it's
Right on, dude.
yeah, and I did have a little test run before that. I did a year, and then I wasn't drinking heavy between that time, but you know, the fact that I had to drive to my gigs and I couldn't drive home if I'd had more than 2 or 3 beers was really pissing me off.
Yeah.
And I health-wise wasn't feeling great. I was feeling bloated and acidic and that kind of. So I'll give it a month try, see how we go, and that's 11 years later.
That's
So,
crazy.
Still going, I know, but
Well, it's not crazy. It's kind of what I did as well. Like, yeah.
exactly, yeah. No, it took some time, you know, for me. I mean,
Me too.
I think I was 40 when I stopped. So
Around about
you've
the
done
same.
better than me.
No, I was 41 when I
Oh,
stopped.
okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were younger than that.
No, but like you say, at 41 when I quit. It's been 2.5 years now since I quit drinking. But like before that, there was definitely a couple of years where I was. Well, now I look back in hindsight, like I was getting ready to quit.
Yeah.
Like
Because you had a few false starts.
Yeah, exactly. I had a few false starts.
Yeah,
let's put
you're
it that way.
pushing at it, which is great. I mean, I think
Like I
it's
would-
really important if you want to do it, don't stop trying until you get there. Because
Yeah.
you're going to fuck up. You're going to fall back. You're going to
Yeah.
drink again. Or if it's smoking, is anything, you just got to keep pushing, you know.
Well, for
mine now
me,
is sugar.
I was in 2022 after a boozy COVID.
Yeah.
Because COVID was very boozy. Where I love it's fantastic. Like my next door neighbors both have dogs, and we were having barbecues every day,
Yeah.
and walking the dogs and going swimming in the sea, and we were all off work. And it was like
Fantastic.
one big party, you know,
Awesome
COVID
life.
until the money ran out like a year later.
Yeah.
But anyway, so as soon as the cruising thing started opening again after COVID 2022, I was on a Hawaii cruise. And I was 6 days into my, whatever it was, 2-month contract. And I've been up to my usual tricks, drinking and the night before at the gig and shots, whatever.
Yeah.
I woke up and I felt like shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, and I knew I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
That day, I was like, I can't go the rest of the 7 weeks like this. I physically can't do it.
No, physically cannot.
Because you'd show up to the gig feeling like shit, have a couple of drinks to feel better, and then get back. Nah. So I read a book. Yeah. I read a book that I'd had in my phone already. Alan Carr, Easy Way.
Yes.
Not the Easy Way. He's famous for his smoking one. Alan Carr, Easy Way to Quit Smoking. But he has one, Easy Way to Control Alcohol, it's called.
Oh, right.
So I read that in 48 hours, and it cured me. Like I was,
So that was how you...
That was how I quit boozing.
Oh, awesome.
And every day I love not boozing. It's like my superpower.
Yeah. I hear you. I'm with you 100% there.
It's so weird because it was a huge part of my life, and I know that I'm totally done with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't
it's
even
like it
cross my mind.
You know, and I remember when I was on a cruise ship, I was speaking to a hypnotist.
Oh, really?
And he was saying to me, I said to him, I'm a non-drinker, you know. I don't drink. And he said, oh, really? Did you ever drink? I said, yeah, no, I quit. He says, well, that's great. He says, you brainwash yourself. If you say to people when they ask you, do you drink? And you say, no, I don't drink. You don't say, I quit. You say, I don't drink. I'm a non-drinker.
Yeah.
So you're telling yourself that and you believe it.
Yeah.
You know, you're brainwashing yourself. And that was a very interesting, I did it by accident, but he said that is a very sure way
it's a good technique
to get it out of your life. You're saying, I'm a non-drinker, you know, and especially with people that didn't know me, I did it with smoking. I say, oh, I'm a non-smoker. I don't smoke, thanks. I don't want to see. Oh, and they're like, oh, okay. I don't say I quit.
Yeah.
Because, oh, you sure you don't want a cigarette?
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing, you know. But that's great, man. That's great that it worked for you, you know. Question for you, though. If you could go back in time and give yourself advice, what would that be as a new player?
Good question. Oh, as a new player?
Yeah. As a young kid, hey, James, I got something to tell you. What would it be? Tell me.
Sunscreen. Use sunscreen.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
No? Oh, okay. I was going to say, that's odd.
I was just thinking of something flippant to say.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know, Adam. That's a good question. I guess it would be also personal to the person themselves. You know?
Yeah.
But you're looking for general advice?
No. What would you say to yourself if you...
Or what would I say to myself?
Yeah.
I thought you said, what would I say to somebody wanting to do the gig?
No, that's my next question.
Oh, I thought you just asked that now.
No. What would you say to yourself if you caught yourself and you're like, hey, James, listen, mate.
Oh, what would I say to my younger self?
Yes, what would you say to your younger self?
Wow. That's a good question.
Don't sleep with that hooker.
Yeah, don't smoke.
Oh, yeah?
Don't booze. No, I don't know if I would
the
say
thing
that.
is, and I always say this to people that say things like that.
I don't think
you
I
wouldn't
would.
listen to yourself.
No, I wouldn't.
You would just go, whatever, dude, go away, you know?
I think I would just say take care of yourself.
What about buy Apple stocks? Or
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, no, that's
Buy
take care of
Bitcoin.
yourself. And that's probably a better general thing to say, that someone could go, okay, you know, whatever. You're not telling me don't do this or that. Just look after yourself.
Yeah.
You know, what about new players that want to get into it? Now, when I say this, just imagine that a guy's come in and he says, oh, I love what you do. How do I get into this? What do I do? I want to become a piano entertainer. What advice have you got for people that just want to get into it?
Just to watch the other guys, watch what they do, listen, and learn a whole bunch of songs.
So, and also go to gigs, or
Yeah.
when you say watch, you mean go and check out these piano players?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And learn a whole bunch of songs.
Learn a whole bunch of songs and then just try it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
What are you doing now?
I'm playing here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep. Every week is different.
Yeah.
So I'm playing in piano bars and doing also my own solo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got another cruise contract coming up in June.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Who's
keeping
the
busy.
cruise contract with?
Next one is with Norwegian again, which is nice. It's in Europe, and I get to take my girlfriend on board.
Always good.
Always cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love being in Greece, you know, in Croatia, and it means I can get cell service still, so that's nice.
Yeah, you're still obviously you're playing at Jongensvenue Eidval in
A lot playing with
Rotterdam.
and for Benjamin quite a lot. Yeah, in Rotterdam.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, playing in
So-
Amsterdam.
yeah.
Sometimes Maxime's on the Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Couple
How do you
time-
find that? Do you enjoy that?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Because that's something relatively new for you. I mean, I've been doing it for 20 years, yeah.
Maxims.
Yeah, you've been doing it for the last few years.
I haven't been playing Maxims till, I've been here 24 years and I've only probably played there for 4 of those at Maxims. And not very often, just on the Monday, Tuesdays. Yeah, it's a long night, but I love the setting. I love that classic
It's
piano
a beautiful
bar
piano
setting.
bar. Well, yeah, and did you ever play in it before?
No, I've only ever played in the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've spent drunken nights in the
Oh, you did?
in the
Okay.
small one.
Yeah.
Not that I can remember much of it.
Yeah, that was very different. Very different indeed, you know. And many crazy times in there as well. Geez, stories of that place.
Absolutely.
But now it's awesome. I love the setup there. And I like to do it once a month, you know.
I do it once a month.
We all do. I think the Dutch guys, you know, or the Dutch
I have
players.
one day a month. Yeah, it's nice.
And I think in that respect it's good because it's a place I like to visit, but I couldn't be doing a whole lot there.
No.
That's, you know. And I think it's great because it's also set up for American tourist piano players who want to come over and do a couple of weeks and hang out in Amsterdam.
That's exactly what it is, yeah.
Yeah. So you get all these guys. And do a lot of guys that you know from America come to Maxine?
Quite a few, yeah.
Yeah.
I generally know them, yeah, or know of them. You know, it's a small world, man.
It is, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, mate, what I'd love to do now is head to the piano and have a talk there and a little play with the piano. Huh? Can we do that?
It's like morning still, but sure.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Okay.
Awesome. Head over. And what I'd like to ask is that can you head over to the piano?
Okay.
Don't be shy. Can you play something that you're comfortable with? Like as in, here's a question for you. What kind of song do you do default? What's your default tune? What is
I
it?
have no idea.
I mean, you know what? Mine's, and I wonder if it's yours actually, is Englishman in New York.
That's your default song?
That's my default song, dude. So if I rock up to the gig and it's quiet, no one's doing anything, and I just want to play a song just to break the ice, and I know that there's a chance that someone's going to go, oh, you know, and I'll definitely pull that one out.
Yeah, there's a few of those that I like, gig starters.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's a good one, I guess. Englishman in New York, or My Girl, or How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You. You know, something that people can sing along to right away.
But is it different in the States? I mean, what would you do there?
Those are my two go-through ones there.
Oh, in the States. What
Yeah.
about here? Is it the same or is it different?
I don't know. I always like to just read the crowd and see who I've got in. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. People often say, you know, like, which song should you play? And I think especially in the American gig, you can play any song as long as you execute it right, as long as you sell it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, on the pianos, in the American shows, do you use mostly just piano?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, always just piano.
Yeah. And how do you find...
No left-hand bass.
Because this is really the European setup, the whole...
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've been doing that for 25 years, but I also like the American way as well, with just the piano.
I've always thought of you as preferring that way of playing rather than split piano.
It depends. If I have to get the room dancing, then I would like to have this set up.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing comedy and sing-along, then I think the piano is just fine.
Yeah.
And not even much drums.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Get all the rhythm from the piano.
How do you find working with a drummer in this situation?
I love it.
Yeah? You prefer it? Then...
Again, it depends what's required of the show.
Yeah.
If you're required to, people are sitting in groups and want to have a show, then I don't really need a drummer. Yeah. But if people are expecting to be dancing for hours after another, then of course a drummer is definitely the way to go.
Now, you also played piano instrumentally when you were younger.
Yeah.
I know that because I remember back in the day, you had a nice piano actually in your apartment.
Oh yeah, the Beckstein.
And
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And you played some really cool instrumental stuff for me back then that I thought, wow, this guy's studied. Okay, you know kind of what you're doing. Do you still play instrumental piano at all?
Not really, no.
You haven't played anything for a long time?
No.
Wow.
It's weird, man. Like, when I was a kid, my dad we used to go in the car. He used to always listen to talk radio. And I remember thinking, why put some fucking music on? What are you doing? We're in the car. Put some nice music on. And now I'm his age, and I only listen to talk radio,
Podcasts
the whole day long.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm not listening to music the whole day long. I'm listening to podcasts or silence.
Yeah. So your angle really, what I find, well, my assessment of you is that you're all about the job rather than it being a separate thing. Musically, the music and the job for you is one thing.
Yes.
Like, I don't see you going off and exploring music in a different direction.
No.
You're more, and actually, I think you've always been like that as far as I've remembered you.
Yeah.
That they're inseparable. The job is the music.
And I get my kicks from the reaction of people having a good time at the show.
I'd say that you're more centered towards the performance.
Absolutely.
And that you don't give it much time to go off and do something separate with music.
No.
This is it for you. This is where you shine. This is your gig kind of thing.
Exactly. Almost like a means to an end as well. I mean, I love music, don't get me wrong, and music touches me, and, like music's everything. But it's also, like you say, it's my job and it's my means to an end.
Did you learn much about like boogie woogie piano and stuff by playing with the American things, or is that something that you've just always done, or do you play any boogie woogie?
Not really.
No?
I can play a basic. That I learned when I was 12.
No, okay. But you don't actually do that with the American dueling stuff. Do you do any...
the New Orleans blues, jazz
No,
style?
I mean more like rock and roll. Like I always thought maybe that's part of the act on the pianos rather than just sing-along stuff. Do you have a bit where you guys duel musically?
Yes, we do. Like, we'll do something on Great Balls of Fire where we'll switch around. And also...
What do you mean switch around?
With one guy plays a solo, the other guy takes the other one, and then you switch around.
On the same piano?
Yeah, on the same piano.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's even though you have two, you'd come over.
Devil went down to Georgia, stuff like that. We'll do stuff like that.
So they're kind of stock things
for a visual,
Yeah, they're kind of stock things that you do in the American piano show.
Yeah,
and that's rock and roll and kind of stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
that's interesting. Okay, I mean, some people do that here, but not very much. Like swing is awesome. Like, when I say swing, I'm talking about rock and roll.
Yeah.
In the Norwegian, Swedish scene, they call it swing.
Swing, right.
Can you play some swing?
Right.
Oh, you mean like Great Balls of Fire, yeah. But it's not very often that we do the whole look at me solo thing, you know what I mean? And I found that Tim Bowie really brought that to Crazy Pianos.
Yeah.
Because he really smashed the shit out of those pianos.
Do you remember those broken keys?
Doing karate chopping on the keys, yeah, that's right.
Right.
And that was kind of fun. But apart from him, I've really known nobody to do that. Yeah.
I love playing for Americans as well, because I didn't know this until recently, but I think don't tell anybody, but I think I like country music as well. I love country music, certain country songs, And there's this one, have you ever heard Dixieland Delight?
No, play it for me, man.
No, I don't. I would need to get the...
Oh, you don't know it? Okay.
I've played it a few times, but I need the lyrics and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's the Alabama song. So the Alabama state song. So I've literally been on YouTube and I've seen whole stadiums of people, like when they do the chorus, there's all this call and response thing. The whole stadium is like calling it out.
You do some of
And I had to play for a whole bunch of Southerners in November and December, and they were asking me for that song. Yeah. And so somebody's like, you've got to play Dixieland Delight. I'm like, what is this song everybody keeps asking for?
Okay, I'm going to check that out.
So I checked it out,
yeah.
And then lo and behold, the next night there was $50 on there for it. So I gave it a shot, and the whole place went nuts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, you do a lot of this comedy music,
I do.
You do. To be honest, I don't know much about it. Right. Now, I've seen you do little things about it, but what's some examples of comedy songs that you do?
Oh, I do a whole bunch.
Yeah.
It's required on Carnival.
Yeah.
So in Carnival, you have to keep it PG clean from 9 till 11.
Oh, okay.
And after 11, all bets are off. You can say whatever you like.
But man, for me,
and it's literally in the program as adult, adult,
yes.
21 plus.
Can you show me some examples of that? Because I have no idea.
Oh my God!
Come on.
Well, a lot of it's innuendo.
Okay, Great. Show me. I want to see this, man.
Well, there's a stupid one that's called I used to work in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
And you have the audience calling and responding. So it's like, I used to work in Chicago at a department store. I thought I did a pretty good job, but I can never go back anymore. A man and his wife came in for a beverage. What kind of beverage, said I. Liquor, she said. Liquor, I did. I don't work there anymore. A man and his wife came in for a Ford. What kind of Ford, said I. Explorer, she said. Explorer, I did. Hey, I don't work there anymore.
Oh, man.
A man and his wife came in for some playing cards. What kind of playing cards, said I. Poker, she said.
Poker, I did.
Hey, I don't work there anymore. And on and on.
Oh, that's classic, man.
Stuff like that, you know.
Oh,
But
that's awesome.
the Americans love that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
no, that's really good, man. And do you ever use that here?
No.
No.
I have a whole list of stuff that I do in the States that I don't do here, and vice versa.
But what other funny songs educate me, man, because this really intrigues me. I think it's so much fun to do, but I've never got into it, right? Never got into this.
It's also, you know, you really have to set it up right
Yeah,
as well.
right.
And people have to be ready for it. I would never open with any of that. You know, people have to be at the right point where they've had a few drinks and they're asking you to play something. Like
Yeah. This is the big difference between what we do here and what happens there. That a lot of the piano entertaining in America is based on this comedy run, but with songs, and there's like a large repertoire of it, and everyone has their own individual thing. I mean, look, we do have a little bit of that here. Like I have alternative words to Hotel California. Although we play all around the world, everywhere you play, it's different. You know, there's different expectations. You know, like America has its own thing. Europe has its own thing. If you go to Spain, it has a different thing going on there. And if you go to Norway, it has a different thing. If you go to Australia, totally different, let me tell you. I've got a completely different rep for that.
I imagine, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's, Horses, Dale Braithwaite, I don't know if you know that.
No.
Kaysan, April Sun in Cuba. These are all
Standards.
big hits.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the words to.
Yeah.
Nobody knows them here.
Right.
Put them in the bin. I actually played at Crazy Pianos a few weeks back, and someone said, what are you playing Australia? So I did like 3 or 4 songs.
Probably the only one you could get would be The Voice. The only one that goes over here from that
Yes,
list.
The Voice works all over the place,
Yeah.
which is surprising.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought it. But so where are you playing this week?
I'm playing in Rotterdam this week.
Oh, Jongensveen of Adrian?
Yeah. I've got a gig on...
Live?
there's a Thursday thing that we started in... maybe you can do it one time, dude. It's every Thursday night in Amsterdam West.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually cool. It's a bar where Andre Hazes used to be the singing bartender. So he used to pull pints and sing before he got famous.
Oh, wow.
At this place.
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
they've started this piano night every Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, man.
Is it good?
I'm doing that. It's really good. They love it, man. It's a lot of young students.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Is it young rep or is it old rep?
It's
Mix.
whatever. It's a mix. I just ask them what they want to hear and play that.
What's the bar called?
It's called Plan West.
Plan West.
Yeah. So I'm there on Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday I'm in Rotterdam.
Okay.
Yeah, right across from where we used to play.
That's fun. And live. Did you ever live there?
Yes, I used to live right there above the
Oostplein.
Yeah, on the Oostplein.
Yeah.
Above the Mega
Above the bike shop. Yeah.
Mega bikes. Yeah. Right.
Mega bikes. Yeah.
Right, man.
Many happy memories there, man.
Same, dude.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it was absolutely awesome having you on. I learned a lot. I always learn a lot from different players, and it's
Dude,
great.
It's great to see you again.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much for coming on the show, man.
Of course. Love you, man.
Love you too. Thanks again for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as every Tuesday we interview another international piano entertainer. Check out our links in the description, and until next time, have a great week.